The first thing to say is that this is a really, really good GT, arguably more of a GT than the DB12, in fact, which obviously said it was a super GT, but I think that's possibly more applicable to this actually. When you first get into it, the first mode that it starts up in is GT mode, and there's a lovely sort of fluidity to the way it goes down the road. The damping's excellent, these DTX dampers from Bilstein, which we'll come back to, but also this has the longer wheelbase. You can see that from the outside. I think visually, sort of particularly side on, you really notice what a long wheelbase this has got, and you feel that in the sort of the slightly long-legged gait that it has over bumps.
The colour of this particular car, by the way, is Supernova Red, smattered with some satin twill carbon fibre and set off by satin bronze wheels. Inside, there's more carbon fibre, some brushed aluminium and acres of centenary saddle tan hide.
The interior of the Vanquish is all at once very good and perhaps a little bit disappointing in terms of the fact that it's very recognisable from the Vantage and the DB12, which, yeah, by and large I have loved. We've obviously got these lovely controls here with a sort of ridges diagonally going across there, so they're very nice to use, the barrel controls like that, and the engine select mode here. All lovely, beautiful leather as usual. In fact, they've got a bit more metal down here in places of piano black, which I really like. The screen, they've obviously changed it very slightly from those two other cars, and the weather screen up there as well. Still got the font, which I just find too small on the graphics. They're not my favourite. The screens themselves, lovely, but just the graphics, I find it quite hard to sometimes discern the information on them. We've got panoramic roof, which you can sort of see when you're driving, you don't really notice it, but it does let a lot of light in, which is quite useful because this is actually, it feels quite a snug, quite a small cabin, sort of even more so perhaps curiously than the Vantage and certainly the DB12. They say it's sort of 2+0, which to me is just 2 because you've got a bit of room back there for some luggage, which is just as well because the boot's not huge, 248 litres, perhaps a little bit small for a GT car. Overall, it's a very nice place to be, and does sort of make actually a big car feel perhaps a bit smaller by being snug in here.
It's not just the dimensions of the cabin that make the Vanquish feel more petite than it is though.